Good afternoon, this is Ken Jacobsen. I am doing a slideshow presentation for AMU BUS604 on sensitivity analysis for a tool for capital budgeting. What are the goals and functions of financial management? Financial management objectives are essential for assuring an organization or individual's financial stability, growth, and sustainability. They provide a roadmap for effectively utilizing resources, managing cash flow, and achieving long-term financial goals. Core objectives include profit maximization, cost control, maintaining liquidity, wealth creation for stakeholders. Effective financial management also ensures timely decision-making, risk management, and adherence to regulatory compliance. Financial planning is forecasting, cash management, work capital management, financial decisions, and investment analysis. What are the goals of them? It is financial stability, to provide direction and a roadmap for organization, cash flow, liquidity, wealth creation, timely decision making, and risk mitigation. Financial stability is what all companies achieve to go after so they can continue to work on to take care of their employees and of course to make money. That is the end goal of any business, is to continue on and be able to provide with them. Being able to provide a direction or roadmap for the organization is often done by a statement or something that they feel, or they have a kind of a theme for their company, and it kind of guides with the roadmap, and then they actually hit goals, maybe quarterly goals, monthly goals, annual goals, projecting all the way into 5-year and 10-year goals. And the cash flow is what's coming in, what's going out, how it's being spent, where you can save, what you have for liquidity, what you can use, what you can't use, in order to do the wealth creation and make sure the company is successful. Timely decision is key in any business. They need to make sure that they make decisions that are not going to be too late, too early. They need to make smart decisions, but they need to be done effectively in a timely manner. And risk mitigation involves many factors on whether something is safe, not safe, is it acceptable risk, not risk, do we have the cash flow in case it does not work, and those are some of the factors that they look in and when they set their goals. Functions of them are financial planning and forecasting, cash management, financial decisions, working capital management, and investment analysis. And a lot of it is self-explanatory. You have the financial planning and forecasting. That's really planning and forecasting what is going to happen, what's not going to happen, the market, and what can possibly affect or enhance your business. Cash management is usually when you have a CFO, or if it's a smaller business, looking at what is responsible for your cash management, what you can risk, and then you put that into your financial decisions and make decisions for that company. Your working capital management is overseeing daily ops, including managing accounts, receiving payable, to ensure the operational efficiency. And investment analysis is evaluating potential investments in assets like stocks and bonds to assure they provide a good returns and align with the company's objectives. You have qualitative steps that kind of play into these decisions that you make for any of them. There's an 8-step model here. Really, the first one is define the model and the objectives. What is the outline? Are you looking for sustainability? Are you looking for cuts? Are you looking to enhance? So you have to kind of give that overview marking of the model and your objectives that you want to go. Then you identify your key inputs. What is, your overhead, depending on type of the business, what kind of cash flow is coming in, is it consistent, do you have contracts, and you have to figure out what are the actual key inputs that really affect the company. Determining the ranges and distributions is really, if you think about it, is setting the boundaries of what you can and cannot do, what you're capable of, maybe what you're capable of doing in the future, but it's kind of setting that left and right limit of what you need to stay within the bounds for. The method for analysis, there's many methods for analysis online. Choosing the correct one that is aligned with your business is key, as it will affect, because the next step is the executing that analysis. So you need to make sure that you choose the proper one that you was going to affect the business. And that's really when you get your results, the analysis results. And if it seems off, maybe you chose the wrong one. If it seems too good to be true, maybe you want to try another one, to make sure that you have an actual good analysis and the results, because you're going to use that to make your decision when you interpret and communicate your findings, saying, hey, this is what was the analysis, this is what happened, this is what we think is going to happen. And then that's when you make your informed decision using your qualitative steps. Now, when you switch to your quantitative steps, you have baseline models and identify key variables. What can happen? That's really what a key variable is, the market on an upswing. Are the Feds going to cut rates? Is there tariffs in place? Those can be a lot of variables that play into, your initial model, including your primary output that you are interested in. Determine those input variable ranges. Those, again, your left and right limits. And then realistic ranges. You're not going to make $1 million off a cup of coffee, obviously, so you need to make sure that it is realistic. You generate some samples and evaluate scenarios. It's kind of wargaming, in essence, for your company, what may or may not happen, based on the best inputs that you can possibly put into it. You calculate the output afterwards for each generated sample or scenario. So you don't want to do too many. If you have 100, that takes up a lot of time and a lot of manpower, in essence. So try to make them, well, and then not too many, so you can actually see what's going to happen on each model that you calculate for your corresponding output for that interest. And then you go to the analyzation portion of it for your output for your variance. You quantify how much the variation in each output parameter contributes to the variation in the output. Methods like variance-based analysis can be used for this. And it's comparing and contrasting, right? And then interpreting the results when you analyze the calculated, sensitive, and variance contributions to understand which inputs and the most significant impact on the output. And then again, you're making a decision. This is used for quantitative findings to use and make necessary adjustments to the system or the project. That's when you're saying, hey, we are going with this path and we're going forward with it. These are the possible outcomes of it. Once you go into that and you have your plan that you're going to go after, you're going to go for your internal financial methods. 3 methods used in capital budgeting are discounted cash flow analysis, payback analysis, and throughput analysis. With there, you're going to have common metrics, payback periods, interval rate of return, and your net present value. The payback period determines how long will it take a company to see enough cash flows to recover the original investment. So if you bought, $100,000 of overhead, how long is it going to take before you're making money back on that? Is it going to make you $250,000 on back, and how long is it going to be? So you have that cash flow to either make investments or move left or right with it. The internal rate of return is the expected return on an initial project, and this could be a small project, large project, but it's what you're expecting to get return on said project. And the net present value shows how profitable a project will be versus alternatives. Once you go into the external financial methods, there's a couple things that you can go into, and PESTLE is one of them that you look at. So you have your political factors, what may go in, good economy, we won't go say economy, but political factors. Say currently we're going through tariffs with different countries. If there's any foreign trade policies that may affect it, any taxing, you got to look at different rate of returns, which will play into the economic portion of it. Interest rates, if you're going into foreign currency, how that'll play in with that. It goes into the social, is it popular, not popular, what age group are you going after, cultural barriers, workforce trends, and so forth. Technological, emerging technologies, just like in our class, the very first section we did, AI, how is it going to play into your product or your project that you're playing into, what's maturing, what's being outdated. You have to do the compare and contrast on how it's going to affect your project. Your distribution and research and investment will all play into those technological aspects. Very key input that has gotten a lot of companies in trouble is your legal, violating any laws, environmental standards, taxes, antitrust. You need to make sure you stay within the boundaries of what is legal. and environmental, depending on what type of company you have, whether it's a production company or something at a paper mill, that you're not violating any water or air policies or corporate or social responsibilities with there. So you need to make sure you're paying attention to that. Next is SWOT. Standard SWOT is your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Analysis includes an evaluation of external threats and what could pose financial risks to a project with there. Then they go into the market risks. What are the commodities, equities, interest rates at that time? Just like we had a federal cut of 0.25 lately, so it might help a few people out. It's the first time I think we had one within a year with there. So those are the kind of things you got to look at. Your credit spreads, what the rate is, what your interest on top of it is, what the bank portion charges for there, and again the foreign exchange, saying that our dollar is worth only 70 cents in this company, or vice versa. Maybe it's worth $1.70 into another company. You have to pay attention to. And credit risks. Risks that consumer and counterparties will default on payments, leading to a loss of revenue and cash flow. And that's if you are loaning or putting out a product or something. Are they going to be able to pay you back? That's the baseline for it. Are they going to have to file bankruptcy and then you are out whatever you put into there? Are risks that you have to be able to take, but they need to be safe risks in order to make sure that your business sustains. I used two references on this. I had Google AI and FinChart with there. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, a quick overview on sensitivity analysis, and hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.